How do you cope with being treated like you are crazy for following COVID safety guidelines when others around you aren't doing the same? I work at a hospital and go to COVID floors on a regular basis. It's more for your benefit than mine. It's true and unsurprisingly shuts up even the most ignorant of people. The thing I don't understand is that a mask is mostly to keep others safe from you. It's hardly going to do anything to stop other people's funk from getting to you at all. It's a simple act you can do to help everyone else. It's sort of silly, in my opinion, for people to make fun of others that keep their own best interest in mind. I don't think I'll ever understand that mindset. Other people wearing a mask directly benefits you. Why squander that? It's because they don't believe the dangers of COVID are real, or that the dangers are overblown. You've got one side that's getting real information about the dangers and are believing it, and the other side who's getting information that it's a conspiracy or being overblown. So, when you bring up the fact that it's to protect other people, that's lost on them because they don't think there's a danger. It's very sad. I'm a covered IQ nurse. I find it funny when people say something like this. Then when I inform them of where I work, I suddenly have at least 6 feet all around me and people are staring at me in shock or horror. But you do what you can to keep yourself and your family safe. Don't worry about the others. If they don't pay your bills or snuggle up to you at night, why does their opinion matter anyway? If anyone ever said anything to me, I would probably just laugh at them. My mask even says the immune disease I have on it, just for that one purpose, to keep people from giving me shit. Saying that, I mostly stay home. I do no contact shopping and doctor's appointments. I'll not let anyone make me feel badly for protecting myself or my family. We just lost my aunt today to COVID complications. So I would probably ask if they have lost anyone to COVID, and if they said no, I'd tell them to shove their mocking up there. I live in rural Indiana and hardly anyone wears a mask or distances. I go about life the same way I always do, honestly. Stay in as much as possible, and when I'm out I pretend they don't exist. When I do get snide comments I just ignore them and carry on with my day. Do you get snide comments in USA if you wear a mask? Exclamation mark. Yeah, I have multiple times. A few times in WA, where I live. Once in Idaho, a woman started screaming at me. A friend of mine kept saying it was a hoax. Overblown. No worse than the flu, etc. He was hospitalized for a week and been out for almost a month now and still can't breathe right. Ask him if it's harder to breathe now, or was it harder through the mask? Well, he won't know, since he didn't wear one in the first place. I've done Thanksgiving for years. This year, it's my husband, me and my elderly mother minus the 8 to 10 more we usually have. Somehow, I'm the overreacting asshole for keeping my mother safe, hoping it will make them appreciate once we can go back to me cooking like a crazy person. But I'm not holding my breath. My mom has been apologizing profusely because she's too scared to spend my son's first Thanksgiving with him. I don't know how many more ways I can tell her she shouldn't be sorry for wanting to keep him safe. Tell her he's a baby. He won't remember this Thanksgiving anyway, but he will remember all the future ones he's going to get to have with her because everyone stayed safe and healthy this year. Keep on doing it. If anyone asks, just respond with listen. I don't tell you how to protect you and your family. Don't start telling me how to protect mine. Most of the COVIDiots I run into are against it because they don't like being told how to live their lives. So use that mindset against them. I like this one. I embraced a long time ago that everyone else thinks I make no sense when everyone else has no mask and questions your sanity for why you're wearing one. That's when you show up with a full PAPR. Also, because if they are not being safe, they're a much bigger threat to you than you are to them. So the selfish filtration model is justified. Close bracket. I walked out of work. As the hour manager I had no choice. I was just so frustrated that my boss wasn't taking it seriously. This happened in April when we, South Africa, went into lockdown. He wouldn't provide masks, gloves, barriers etc for the factory, then insisted all the office workers stay. So I walked out. I carried on working from home and completed all my tasks. Got disciplinary action. but he couldn't fire me. Months later things have finally changed, but I found another job. If that's how he treats staff's lives, he'll do it again. Tomorrow is my last day, so protect yourself and your family first, and ignore the idiots. This pandemic is real. Good for you. I wish more would take a stand. Your life is more important than a job that doesn't care about you anyways. In public I wear big over-ear headphones. At work when people say insane conspiracy shit I laugh at them. It's the only response I've found that shuts them up. I tried to explain and discuss the facts, but once I realized that was never going to work I just started laughing at them. And I mean at them. You gotta out crazy them by coming up with a bigger conspiracy. Like if someone says the earth is flat, snort condescendingly, you believe the earth exists? I just happily agree. Yup, I'm paranoid. Yup, we are all crazy. No, we still won't get together with you, because I'm so paranoid and crazy. And yes, I still wear a mask every time I go outside, because I'm so paranoid and crazy. Apostrophe. The top priority in a pandemic is to survive it without getting sick. Period. Full stop. End of story. Let everyone else think what they think. Just do what you need to do to keep yourself safe. Mostly quesadillas. I wear a hat in winter to keep my head warm. I treat a mask the same way. I don't care what other people think. And I have become so used to having a mask with me, I feel uncomfortable without one. Honestly, I'm excited for the masks in winter. Now my face won't freeze, and it keeps me and everyone else safe. Win-win. Yep, I hated them in summer, but now I think it's kind of nice to have a little face warmer. Plus I end up blowing warm air into my eyes, which relieves winter dryness. Just keep doing your thing and keep yourself safe. The others will have to find out the hard way if they get it. This should have never been politicized in the first place. It's really crazy. I went into a gas station yesterday and the owner kept making jokes about my mask and saying, "Oh, you aren't going to rob me, are you?" Question mark. Then started talking about how masks don't work and it's somehow a bitten related conspiracy. I have to admit I find it extra stupid right now when new Crime Stoppers photos get released and the suspects aren't wearing masks. I get upset, but you only get to pick so many battles in life. I work in a pharmacy and am pretty fascinated by COVID, so I'm constantly reading about the virus, treatment protocols, vaccines, etc. When I smell people trying to be shitty about the whole thing, I usually rattle off some of the more interesting things I've read lately, and they usually reply with some stupid conspiracy theory and I just tell them I can't go down that rabbit hole with them. Also, while I have the platform, hey, you ducking idiots. The government is pouring billions into facial recognition. A mask is your best defense against COVID and restoring your privacy. Fucking idiots. Heard this from someone else just say apparently I care about you more than you care about me. It's like driving a car and the other drivers aren't being safe. You keep your distance. Try to stay positive and try to understand that everyone has different levels of risk tolerance, understanding of the rules, etc. And that the best you can do is keep yourself safe and not contribute to the problem. Getting upset or wanting to personally intervene to police other people's behavior is perfectly understandable, but it probably won't help. It might even make things worse. So, practice defensive living. I remember seeing a tweet that reads something like this, paraphrasing. Even if the pandemic turns out not to be a big deal, and we really are all sheep, I'll be content knowing I was a sheep by caring for other people and wearing a mask. This stuck with me and makes me glad to follow guidelines. I cope by not having to go to the ER because of COVID symptoms. I'm feeling some sort of mix of everyone around me is stupid. I wish I could do fun family things like everyone else is, and I must be losing my goddamn mind. Literally everyone else in my life is playing fast and loose with the safety guidelines except my grandparents, because one of them is a retired respiratory therapist. Friends and family I previously thought of as smart, caring individuals are going on vacations, dates, or whining about mask policies. Meanwhile looking down on me because I found a way to not return to my shitty tourism job and still pay my bills. My kid's pediatrician encouraged getting their hair cut at a salon and taking pictures with Santa this year. I'm about to spend $40 to drive through a park with Christmas lights in an attempt to give my toddler some sense of a normal holiday after feeling like I robbed him of a summer of fun, which I did. Because every time I even took him to the grocery store, strangers tried to touch him. After sticking to strict isolation, mask wearing and cleaning habits since March, I'm simultaneously worn out and reinvigorated. I honestly don't think I'm superior in any way to the people around me, but this shit is starting to feel like some basic Darwinism. My wife's a nurse, and she's working more now than ever because, what a ducking shock, there's a shortage of nurses because they keep getting sick from a swipes like this. And I have no ducking problem telling them this. If you don't practice social distancing or wear a mask and you get sick, I think you should be banned from going to a hospital because you're ducking stupidity. Why? Arrogance and overall selfishness is literally putting the only people who can do anything about this ducking bullshit at risk. SK. Die in your ducking house alone, asshole. Oh. Keep my wife out of your crap. Rap. And the irony? Oni? If my wife read this, she would be super pissed at me. Because unlike all of you assholes who refuse to wear a mask and practice social distancing, she's a good person who has and will continue to put herself at risk to help people. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you enjoyed watching this video, leave your thoughts in the comments below.